Greetings. Hey, welcome to another edition. Here we are. We're going to work on this November of 63 Schwinn Traveler. I believe that's correct. I believe this born on date was November 8th, 1963. I'll have to check on that. I think I had some other info on another video that broke it down. But it's a 63 Traveler. That's all you really need to know. We did do some work behind the scenes, and we're ready to bolt a nice fender on, and we're ready to do some other things too. I think I'm going to change the bars and stem out as well. And most Travelers, I think all Travelers, came with a little bag and a light, and this one, there's a little space in between here, and I think we're going to put a light bracket and just bolt some just generic crusty rusty light just to make it look good. The light doesn't work, but it'll look good on there until I find one that does work. So let's get busy here. I'll show you the fender I managed to come up with. And I did find a front stay for S5 fenders. It was in really bad shape, so I had to sand it all off and paint it kind of a dull silver. And I machined a little bolt to look like a rivet. It looks like a rivet, right? But, it's not. Plenty of Loctite on that. Good luck getting that off. It looks okay. It's a stainless fender. It's got the little leg scraper heron beak thing going on. And I did find a fender stay from my friend Fred, but it's not Schwinn. I had to use the only Schwinn one I had left. Whoa. And this is a rear one. Obviously you can't use that. It's too small, and the hole is too small. So you can't use this rear Schwinn one. But this is basically what I started with. It was really bad, just like that. And I've got this non-Schwinn one for Fred. I think he can make this work. It's a little taller. I think if he drills the holes here, back in there, he'll be able to make it work. You can't usually make these work because they're for the rear. Well, I guess if you drilled the hole just right, you might be able to get it to work. It's up to you, Fred. I have some stays. I'd recommend using that one, but you know, I don't know how that project's coming along. That was a couple weeks ago. You probably went and found a stay or did something else. Anyway, today we're gonna make this seat right. We took the bigger one out, and we got a Schwinn one. I don't know why it's painted gold, but it is. We're going to use it. Seems to be okay. We're going to make that work. This is the bracket. We might clean it up a little bit. We're going to put it in between there because most Travelers came with that. As you can see, there's one here. That pretty much came with that bike. Or it was dealer added or somebody added it. But in the catalog it shows that most Travelers did have a generator. I'm not putting a generator on this. It's already really bad right there. I'm just going to bolt the light on, and then later we'll find a little battery light like this one, which is kind of cool. And we'll put that one on. We did do some work for the other channel, the paid subscriber channel. So we did do work on that, but we're still missing the pedals. So we're going to jump on this right now. Let's get busy. I'm going to change these bars. I'm going to use this stem and these bars. I like this bend better, even though these are probably the right bars. They're pretty beat, and the bend is just more comfortable on these. They come up a little higher than the bend right there. It's just more comfy, and you know, it's my bike. I'm not reselling it. I'm not saying that it's a stock Traveler. You know, it's already got this whole gear reduction business going on here. You know, and this is probably the wrong back fender. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And this is probably the wrong seat. So, you know, we're not trying to resell this as an original Traveler. We're just going to make it kind of a cruiser. Kind of something I want to do. All right, let's get you on here. And put you on time lapse, and I'll put this front fender on. It's going to look pretty good. We still haven't got the parts for that front wheel. We might get into that today. We'll see.
Yes, folks, this is why you check things. You saw how that wasn't coming off. I kind of forgot if I even got into this, so I was just seeing, I was going to undo that top race to see if it was greased, because I have so many bikes, I forgot if I even did it. But no, this obviously was not greased. Yeah. We're going to clean this all up. We might even have to change this race. That race maybe is okay. I haven't looked in here yet. What does that look like? Terrible. Okay, yeah. You saw what I had to do to get that one piece off. I was trying to save the chrome with some gray tape at first and not use heat, but I had to use some heat. I think it's okay. I didn't gall it up too badly. I was very careful, getting a good grip on it. But we did heat it up. And that bearing's, I don't know about that bearing either. I don't even know about that. So let's pound this lower race out and clean this top one, and we'll just clean everything up. It was supposed to be, like Gilligan's Island, just a 3-hour tour. It was a 3-hour tour. You always find stuff. You always find stuff. And I should have known, because I looked back on the video when I was inside of here. Little broken bearings and half acorns and mud dauber's nest was coming out of that. It was really hardcore, one of the worst ones I've ever seen. In fact, this was actually frozen on this bike. So what did I think? That this was all going to be hunky-dory? I forgot. I didn't even know if I got in there or not. So let's pound these races out, and at least this bottom race. And maybe we'll hit this with some WD and some steel wool and see what that looks like. It doesn't look too good, though. It does not look very good right there. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty bad. I'm checking for freeze damage now, actually. When you see something like that bad, you want to look in there with a light and make sure it's not, and clean it all really good and look for a seam that's broken. I don't think it took freeze damage, but I'll tell you what, that bearing is probably not usable. And this race may or may not clean up. Anyway, let's clean it all up. I'll get back to you in a second. It was a 3-hour tour. And the weather was getting rough. Okay, we're getting into it now. I'll see you in a second. I got to clean these parts up. What is the deal? Okay. It was a 3-hour tour. The weather was getting rough. Okay, so there's more damage than we thought. I think this collar is a little oblong. I mean, this threaded part is a little out of round because of someone probably tightening the stem up when it was in the further too far up position. Like if you tightened the stem up and it was only in, that much or something. That probably happened to this bike. I don't think it's freeze damage. But there's more damage than I thought, and I'll show it to you. Same old stuff. Bottom race was so bad. It was so smashed and bad. I could center peen all along here, or I could MIG weld 3 little zaps, little tacks, and then file them down and put this on. But that weakens the fork. And center peening it only lasts a little while. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put it back together, not with this bearing in this race, but with this race and this nice bearing, nicer. And I'm just going to look for a replacement fork. This one's all scuffed up anyway, and I'm pretty sure the chance of me finding a nice faded red non-safety lock fork is high. So I'm just going to put it together. It's my bike. Now, if I was selling this bike, no, I would get the replacement fork. That we have standards. Anyway, I took these races out. I replaced that one with a good used one. I took this one out and cleaned it really good and popped it back in. We should be okay. It's my bike. It's my show. It's a no-nonsense show. Anyway, I'll just buy a better fork. I'm not gonna center peen this. I've done it before, but I'm just gonna put it back together. It's not that bad. It'll be slightly noticeable. We'll be okay. At least this stuff isn't in here, and this is ready to be muscled back on. It ain't gonna be friendly. Okay, we got grease down in there. We got grease in this this race here. This is gonna be fun. I don't think it's gonna go on really nicely. And then we'll be able to put this on. Boy, all this for a light. But you know, I should go through it anyway. Obviously, it was really bad. So, all right, let's get you back on here. Maybe we'll just muscle this on in regular time because you guys love it. Okay. There's grease under there. There's a nice bearing on here. We changed that bearing. And this race is obviously not that old one. It's not too bad. I mean, it should be much tighter than that. We're just going to find a new fork eventually. But for now, it's going back together. The show must go on. This is not what you do. You would go get a better fork. All right? All right, good. As long as you guys know that. Dab some grease on there because we're going to need that grease, Sonny. We're definitely going to need that grease where this collar's going. It was not acting right earlier. It was not just spinning off of there. I must have done something right. It seems to be going on better now. Right. Okay, let's put the stem back in for leverage. And we will get the channel locks out. Yeah, this fork has seen some damage. I don't know if they had this stem right here and they rode it around after they crunched it. I'm not quite sure what was going on, but this fork has seen some damage in its life. And obviously someone rode it with bad grease because they ruined that bottom race area. And that's directly related to just riding the bike with no grease. I mean, the pressure has to go somewhere. And when this part isn't greased and you're riding it around, yeah, it's chewing the fork, which is softer than this material. This race is hard, and the fork is softer, so it'll pound on. And yeah, the weight and friction has to go somewhere. It's not being transferred through that bearing at all. So, you know, there you go. Well, not very well anyway. Okay, we got that tight so I can grip it with the channel locks, which I don't really want to do, but we have to. So here we go. Maybe we can just get it past this tough point. Yes, I'm going to avoid gulling this up. Maybe we can get it past this. Seems to be doing a little better than on the way. At least we don't have to heat it up, right? So yeah, if you're not a paid subscriber, think about it. I'm starting to get a few videos on there that are a little more detailed. And it would help the channel. Every little bit helps. If I don't have to make construction brackets the rest of my life, it'd be nice. It'd be great if I could just come out here and work on bikes all day. I need about, 1 million subscribers. Yeah, we got a ways to go, folks, but you got in on the ground floor, you know, before I was really popular. Okay, we're chewing this up a little bit, but we don't really have a choice. We're gonna find a new fork for sure. This ain't happy. This is not happy in my book. Okay, it's getting a little easier. Okay. We still got a ways to go. It's getting easier. Maybe there wasn't so much damage on those threads. I thought there really need to get a wire wheel system going. The bench grinder. The wire wheel might have been good. Okay, we got it. We put past the hard part. We can almost grab it with a rag now. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! That's what I'm talking about. All right, we kind of like that. Yeah. You know, it's not that bad. I don't feel it flopping around too bad. We'll see. The real test is when you put it under load. Okay, we'll take this back out, put the washer on after we file it, and put the little light bracket on, and see how far we get before the battery runs out on the camera. All right, let's take this back out. We're doing good. Let's hit it with our bronze hammer. Good. All right. Get washer. Where'd that go? Here it is. Oh, this one's not even too bad. Wow. This is in good shape. We're going to file it anyway. You know what? You know how I roll. So yeah, if you can afford $2.99 a month, $2.99 a month, that would help me out. You become a paid subscriber. I am kind of getting into some better videos for the gentlemen and ladies that are subscribed. It's coming along. I'm learning, you know, I'm learning how to edit good things and how to not be so boring and how to ruin gunmetal parts. It's really good. Okay, so that's nice and clean and flat. You want this to slide on here. You want this piece to be really nice on there. You don't want that little square peg digging over into the threads, which it hasn't happened on these forks, but you know, it's a little late now. The fork is, the bottom race part is pretty well damaged. All right, we'll dab some grease on there. And we'll put this washer on. Just to make sure there's grease on that too, because that has to slide on the washer also. Okay, we want that to slide and be nice, which it is. And now we're going to put some, we're going to put this piece on. Where'd that thing go? Here it is. And we'll even put some grease on right there. Yeah. After all that business, after all that Gilligan's Island stuff, it was a 3-hour tour. Good. And we got grease all over everything. Just what we want. Yeah, this part has to be greased too. You want things to slide on this. I don't want too much grease though. It's a bit much. Okay. This does not have a notch. The serrated things kind of help it be where it's supposed to be. And so we're going to get that ready. That's pretty greasy already. I think we're okay on that. Okay, plenty of room to cinch that down. Let's put a little mini snug on that right now. And then we'll decide what bars we're going to use. You stay where you're supposed to be, buddy. Yeah, I should put the bars in and then do this. But a little mini snug. Okay, that feels pretty good. It's a little tight. That's okay. I would have used this top race, but the diameter is different. It's for a different make of bike. I thought it was Schwinn, but it wasn't. I would have used that one, but I didn't. Okay, let's see. What have we accomplished? Hardly anything. Let's put this. I think this stem, I'm believing this stem is probably the right one. It's a little loose. Let's check the 71 stem in there. Yeah, I was going to go with these other bars, but I think I'm just going to go with the bars that came with the bike. Yeah, that's way loose. I could switch out these better bars, but I think I'm just going to go with the bars that came with the bike. They came with the bike. They are a Traveler. So I think we are just going to go with the flow on that. And, oh dear. All right. Make sure there's grease in there too. Plenty of grease on that. Grease is your friend. Okay. This has this weird washer on it. Someone may have had a speedometer on this. I mean, it was a Traveler. It could have had one with it. I don't think a lot of Travelers. I think they just had the generator system. This is not getting a generator system. I'm just going to put this little silly kind of lame light on it for now. I'm just going to put this on it after I clean it up. It's really lame, but at least it's a style that may have been on the bike. But we'll definitely vinegar this up or do something with it before I put it on. But it's going to go something like that. And it'll look, you know, it'll look Traveler-ish like that one until I can find a Miller or some better one. I have a lot of Miller Lights, but they're all incomplete and busted up. It's just the way you find them nowadays. All right, so we did a lot, and we're still waiting on the parts for the front wheel. There's some front wheel parts coming for this, and as you see, there's no way these bearings lock because there's no lock bolts. Now I can make some lock bolts, or I can wait for these little parts to come. There's this little square part that kind of notches into the fork for this year, or I'm not sure, but for this wheel anyway. I don't know if this is the right wheel for this. Anyway, let's see, what else can we do? Well, we can put the shifter back on. We're doing good. If we get these brake levers back on, we can even put the grips on. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I guess we're doing okay. I don't know why I took this all apart. Oh, because I was going to change the bars. And I decided not to. Yeah, why? Okay. Let's give this a little snug. We didn't really get a lot done today, but what we did do was very important. You know, getting the forks to be nice is a good thing. Okay, I think what we're gonna do, I think we're gonna chuck the seat on because I really want to see what that looks like, and I'm gonna forego the whole light thing for a second. Seat and grips maybe with the rest of the battery power that we have in the camera. So I had to change this out. This was different. I don't know why this is spray painted gold. I have no idea. No one's gonna see it under there, right? Only you, me, and 2,500 other people subscribed will probably all chime in and say, why didn't you clean that part? Because I didn't feel like it. Hey, I cleaned enough parts today. We made stuff happen. Now, rule of thumb, if it's a short frame for you, if the frame feels a little short from where you're sitting to the handlebars, you can switch this around to the other way or this way. This way would give you, 3/4 of an inch. Or you could switch it around the other way and it would make the seat a little closer. Just a rule of thumb there, but it really doesn't make a lot of difference. But you can swivel it around and get what you need out of it. Okay, this particular clamp has these little preventers. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or not, but we will see. Let's go over here and chuck this baby on. We need to look like we had some progress today. It needs to look good, folks. When you take it off the stand and, well, how are we going to get it off the stand with no front wheel? Yeah! About that. Right now I'm digging for something and not finding it. Okay, let's go over here. So yeah, thanks for tuning in today. I know sometimes things just don't go as planned when you find lots of damage that you didn't. I didn't remember about the forks actually. I thought I was reviewing the video when I was fixing the cranks, and that was pretty funny, the amount of stuff that came out of there. So I wasn't really thinking. I thought the bearings in the fork were good, but oh, how I was wrong. Now, that's 2 bikes in a row with bad fork. That's 2 bikes in a row. Okay. We could just slide these grips on so we know where to tighten the bars. So we know where to tighten these levers at. So let's just slide these grips on like I was doing something today. because you know, we needed to make it look like there was progress. And too bad somebody slammed on that stem so bad. Too bad somebody hit that with a hammer. That's really sad because this is the right stem for this bike. And yes, it's about 30 degrees out today. Hence the heater and my big work coat. Okay, let's put these grips on. Without further ado. The shinier, cleaner side out. I would say that this was the cleanest side for that one. Yeah. And for this one, it would probably be that side. Okay, that one's in. Now we know where to tighten that. That's good. And let's pop this one in. Looks like someone at one time had a pair of vice grips on this. Pretty sure somebody tried to get that off with a pair of vice grips. Not good. It was not me. Okay, so now we know where to tighten these. That's good. Okay, so now it's looking like a bike. You know, it's almost there. Anyway, I'm waiting for these parts for the front wheel. We could bolt this. Well, I don't really want to put this on until I soak it in something. That's pretty bad. I'm not going to use those bars. These levers are too new and shiny. These were the levers that came with the bike. Let's see. We could put the back cable back on, but we need to tighten this. Let's do that real quick. Running out of juice on the old battery there. Okay. Looks good. Let's pop this back brake cable on. Yeah, let's get the perk tool. I think I can do this without undoing a brake pad. Let's see. I got it off without undoing a brake pad. Okay. That's where that goes. This is here. Yeah, fortunately I did a bunch of cabling and work on this bike already. Oh yeah, we got this. There we go. All right, let's tighten the 3-speed shifter. All right, we might as well tighten this front one too. Skinnier screwdriver, so I'll mess up the aluminum handle. No, that's fatter. Maybe. I can't see. Dang it. All right, so we can cable up this front brake, and once we fix the front wheel, we might as well take this wretched rim liner off here right now, since we still have a little bit of battery life left, and replace this rim liner, and we will shine this rim up. We're trying to get as much done right now. I've got a bunch of I made an art frame box today that's shipping some artwork, but I have a bunch of frames coming up And today's Sunday, and yes, I'm working on a Sunday, but this doesn't really work for me. Okay, there's the rim liner. It's toast, as suspected. This tire is full of dust, but the tire is good. The tube is whatever. And this rim is filled with dust. You know it. But, and these are very, very dry. Just like the rest of the bike, you know. The whole bike has been nothing but dry. Bearings are all dry. The hub was frozen. If you go back in the video and watch me repair that, there's just mud dauber nests in there. It was missing a brake. It's just been kind of a rough sell on this bike. Anyway, we don't have the parts for that, so let's just make sure this thing still shifts. And I think that might be it. We're in third. We're still in third. Here we go. Second. Oh, that's first. There's second. What's going on here? Oh, I see what's going on. We can't check the shifting because it's rubbing on here. Yeah, let's get the frame back up where it should be so I can actually check the shifting. Okay, now we can check it out. Okay, now we're in third. Okay, we're in third. There's second, first, coast, second, third. Perfect. Well, I don't know about perfect. All right, so always remember when you're checking your 3-speed in a stand and you know you have stuff like this bent wheel which has to be replaced. That's really bad. I'll have to figure that one out. Okay, yeah, next time, on the next one, we will have the parts to make this right. Now, everything on this bike has been dry and crunchy, and guess what? Dry and crunchy. That is not your friend. Dry and crunchy on a bike is not your friend. And this is what we found inside that tube. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff you find. Oh, look, they taped this one too. How wonderful of them. That's just absolutely wonderful. That's the second bike in a row with a taped liner. This tube is probably not good. Look at all the dust in there. Look at all that stuff in there. That's great. We'll clean it up. This tire is actually in pretty good shape. Oh, no, we were going to use... That's right. We got a new tire, just like the back one. Right, but I will put this tire on another bike. I am saving these tires. They're not too bad. I think they're going to go on this Traveler. Although these have beautiful chain links, but they're really starting to show their age. And I do like this Traveler. I might put these on it. But this bike does get new tires, that's right. Okay, hey, thanks for tuning in. And the next video, well, you know what? You guys have a vote. You have a vote. You had a vote before, but I kind of vetoed you. Well, not really. The Traveler had 1/3 of a vote more than the Speedster. I don't know how that worked, but it did. I added them all up. So here's your vote. Do you want me to keep going on the Traveler? The parts are coming. Or do you want me to go on the regular channel so everyone can see it? Finish this Speedster up. It needs a new back tube, which I have, and I need to find those pedals. And I was looking in here the other day, and the washers in the hub are wrong. I'll show you the ones that we need. I bought some. They were very cheap. And yeah, I was looking at that back hub on the blue Speedster, and it needs some of those. These little slotted deals. They're missing, and on both sides they're just big fat washers. I can show you real quick. And that's okay, but it's kind of a no-no because the axle might slip. And you know, I put them on here for sure. They're the correct ones. I wasn't playing around with this one. But these are incorrect. You can look in there and see those giant Galvy, I don't know, like a Galvy washer or something. And I'm sure Fred didn't do that. That's not his style. You know, he probably just had the bike as a runner. Anyway, and you didn't really see that. So, and Fred, I do have your fender stay. It's not Schwinn, sorry. I used my last front Schwinn stay here. Sorry, but I do have a stay that would work. It's right here. Okay, peace out, guys. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gents. And your vote does count. Do we keep going on this on the regular channel, or do we go on this on the regular channel? I'll let you guys see the work this time. What's it going to be? 76 Speedster or 63 Traveler? I've got total Schwinn ADD, and I need guidance. Okay, peace out, folks. Do 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 do.